Dan with Guardian Mold Prevent here. Wanted to take a look at a couple of attic spaces that are affected with mold growth. The first one is in Glendale Heights, Illinois, and as we pan around and show you the mold on the plywood here, I want to talk about a couple of the reasons why we have mold growth in this attic and the next one that we'll look at. Obviously, mold needs moisture to grow, so we've got to get to the bottom of why would there be moisture in an attic space. If we look at the construction of an attic, the way that it's meant to operate is that in the wintertime, the air temperature in the attic space is supposed to be conditioned by the outdoor environment. So we need to introduce cold, fresh air into the attic space and force any warm air that ends up in the attic space out. Roofs are constructed with lower ventilation in the soffits and upper ventilation at the top of the roof. The lower ventilation is meant to supply cold air into the attic space. The upper ventilation is meant to draw the warm air out and create that air movement inside of the space. Now, as we start to look at this second house that's in Naperville, Illinois, you'll notice that there are white styrofoam chutes that are slid down right into the soffit area past the insulation. Under normal circumstances, this would keep the insulation back, allow the upper vent to create that draw from the soffits, and the cold air would make it up past the insulation that is rolled out over the exterior wall. But in the previous house and in this one as well, the problem is that there are no soffit vents cut into the lower portions of the roof. So when you're standing outside looking up, you don't see any vents cut in. So any warm air that does get up into the attic space, and keep in mind that both attics here in this video have batted insulation that are rolled out, so it's not perfect. There is some thermal bypassing that takes place and some warm air can get up in there. It hits that ice cold roofing member, it condensates, it reaches dew point, and then obviously mold growth develops. I also want to look at a couple of other things real quick before we wrap up as to why there's condensation in this attic. As you can see, there are bare spots on the top side of the drywall where the insulation was not installed all the way out to the edges. And then the other thing is that there are can lights that are installed that are aesthetically pleasing from the finished side of the house, but on the top side from the attic, you can see the insulation is rolled out to them. But those lights generate heat, and they also allow for house heat to get up in the attic space and contribute to the problems.